Welcome back to the Revenge Flame. Today's story starts with a marriage that looked steady, normal, and comforting. The kind of life most people dream of until one small moment exposes the truth hiding underneath it. Ethan and Madison had been married for 5 years. Their weekday routine was simple: morning coffee, a quick kiss before heading out the door, and late dinners together after long shifts. No drama, no chaos. Just two people building what they thought was a quiet, safe life. Ethan trusted Madison more than anyone. She was kind, organized, always checking in on him, always reminding him she appreciated the way he worked hard for their home. And Ethan, he was the type of husband who remembered her favorite snacks, who warmed up her car in winter, who sent her drive-safe texts every morning. Their life wasn't perfect, but it felt stable. But even the calmest homes can hide the deepest cracks. Sometimes betrayal doesn't arrive loudly, it slips in quietly, when no one is paying attention. For Ethan, that crack appeared the night Madison casually said, "It's just dinner with my boss." He didn't know it yet, but that one dinner was about to destroy everything he thought he knew. Before everything fell apart, Ethan and Madison's life was the kind of calm most couples wished they had. Their mornings started with the same routine: Ethan brewing coffee while Madison tied her hair into a loose bun. Humming whatever song was stuck in her head that week, she'd steal his mug, take the first sip, and he'd pretend to be annoyed every single morning. They had their tiny rituals: Friday night pizza on the couch, arguing over which movie to watch; Sunday drives with the windows down, their dog, Cooper, sticking his head out and making them laugh until their stomachs hurt. And every anniversary, no matter how busy they were, Ethan made pancakes shaped like hearts, terrible looking, uneven, but made with love. Madison used to giggle and say, "You're too sweet for your own good." They weren't perfect, but they felt like a team, a real one. And Ethan believed deep down that trust wasn't something he had to question. He thought Madison felt the same security, the same loyalty, the same quiet comfort in their life. But looking back, that warmth was already fading. He just didn't see it yet. Because sometimes, the calmest moments come right before the storm hits. The shift didn't happen overnight, at least. Not in a way Ethan could recognize. It started with little things. Madison began keeping her phone face down on the table, something she never used to do. When it buzzed, she'd glance at the screen a little too quickly, then lock it even quicker. Work suddenly became more demanding. Late meetings, team dinners, last-minute urgent projects that kept her out past midnight. Ethan tried to be supportive. He knew her job was stressful, but every explanation felt slightly rehearsed, like she'd practiced it on the drive home. Her attitude changed to not in a loud or angry way, but in the small, quiet spaces between them, she laughed less. Her smiles felt stiff, like they didn't fully reach her eyes anymore. She'd pull away when he tried to hug her after work, brushing it off with, "I'm just tired." Even her social media shifted. More photos from the office. More posts about team bonding. None with Ethan. At first, he convinced himself it was just stress, a rough patch, something they could work through. But deep down, a small voice whispered something he wasn't ready to face yet. Something isn't right. It happened on a Wednesday. Night one of those nights where the whole house felt too still, too quiet. Ethan was half asleep on the couch, waiting for Madison to come home from yet another late team meeting. He wasn't suspicious, just tired of eating dinner alone. Around 12:47 a.m., her phone lit up on the kitchen counter. She'd forgotten it. Face down, as always. A single vibration, then another. Then a message preview slipped across the screen before it dimmed. "Can't wait for next time." Tonight was perfect. Ethan froze. Not angry, not yelling, just still. He walked over slowly, like getting closer might change the words. His heart didn't crash or explode, it tightened, controlled and quiet, like it was trying to protect him from the truth. He flipped the phone over, hands shaking just slightly. More messages slid in. "You looked beautiful tonight. Your husband doesn't suspect anything, right?" Ethan stepped back. The room suddenly felt colder. Instead of panicking, he inhaled deeply, steady, slow. Not a single sound escaped him. He just stared at the glowing screen, the pieces falling into place one by one. This wasn't stress. This wasn't work. This was betrayal, and it was happening right in front of him. Madison walked into the house just after sunrise, looking exhausted, hair messy, blazer in her hand, perfume still fresh. Ethan was already at the kitchen table, quietly drinking coffee. No accusations, no anger, just silence. The kind that makes the air feel heavier. She froze when she saw her phone in front of him. "Hey, you're up early," she said, voice too soft, too cautious. Ethan didn't answer. He simply slid the phone toward her. "You forgot this?" Madison's eyes flickered fear, guilt, calculation all in 1 second. She swallowed hard. "Ethan, I can explain." Her tone wasn't emotional. It was rehearsed, like she'd prepared lines in her car. "It's not what you think," she started. "I've been under so much stress. You've been distant. I just needed someone to talk to." Her voice cracked, but the tears didn't come. She talked about pressure, loneliness, needing honesty, and connection. All the cliché excuses that sounded painfully polished. Ethan stayed calm, almost unnaturally calm. He didn't interrupt, didn't raise his voice. He just watched her every blink, every forced sigh, every shaky breath. When she finished, he placed his mug down and spoke quietly. Madison, I didn't ask for a speech. I just wanted to see which version of the truth you were going to choose, and that calmness cut deeper than any shouting ever could. Ethan didn't react the way Madison expected. No slamming doors, no yelling, no begging for the truth she'd already broken. Instead, something inside him shifted clean, sharp, and cold. After she left for work that morning, Ethan sat in their living room, staring at the walls they'd once decorated together, and then he began his silent plan. He backed up their shared bank records, checked credit card statements, screen captured every message from her phone before she reset the password. He created a private folder labeled Only Truth. He called a lawyer during his lunchbreak.com, steady voice as if he were scheduling a dentist appointment. He didn't tell anyone. He didn't confront her again. He simply started preparing for a life where she no longer existed beside him. Every step was deliberate. Every breath was controlled. Because Ethan wasn't planning revenge with fire. He was planning it with ice, and the silence inside him was far more dangerous than anything loud. Ethan didn't want drama. He wanted clarity. 3 days after the confrontation, he set his plan in motion, quiet, precise, and almost painfully graceful. Madison came home from work to find their bedroom half empty, his clothes gone, his drawers cleared, but everything he'd ever given her, every birthday gift, every handwritten note, every little symbol of their life, together was stacked neatly on the bed with a single envelope on top. Inside was not anger, not insults, just facts, screenshots, dates, bank transactions. From nights she said she was working, late her messages printed and highlighted. At the bottom, a single line in Ethan's calm handwriting, I won't fight for someone who lied while I loved. The lease is already transferred. The lawyer will contact you at 9 a.m. No yelling, no chaos, no dramatic goodbye. Just a clean, honest exit. The kind that hurts more than any revenge born from rage, because Ethan's silence wasn't weakness. It was the final judgment. Madison didn't understand the silence at first. She expected Ethan to come back angry, hurt, begging for answers. But when she realized he had simply disappeared from her life, the panic hit her all at once. The calls started the same night she found the envelope. First.com, then shaky, then tearful. Ethan, please, just talk to me. We can fix this. I made a mistake. Please. He didn't answer. She showed up at his workplace the next morning, eyes red, hair messy, clutching a coffee she used to buy him every Friday. Can we just talk? I didn't mean for any of this to happen. His coworkers quietly watched as security escorted her out. Then came the social media posts. Sad quotes. Midnight apologies. Pictures of them together with captions like, I ruined the best thing I ever had. By the end of the week, she was crying into voicemail after voicemail, her voice completely broken, because nothing destroys a guilty heart faster than being ignored by the person who once loved them the most. They met one last time in a quiet conference room at the lawyer's office. Madison came in first, eyes swollen, voice trembling. Ethan, please, I know I messed up, but can we at least talk without lawyers? I still love you. Ethan sat across from her, steady and unmoved. He slid a folder toward her, final divorce papers and the printed messages that started it all. I'm not here to argue, he said softly. I'm here to finish. Madison's face crumbled as she realized there was no coming back. He stood, offering one final line. You ended us the moment you chose someone else. Ethan walked toward the exit, feeling lighter with every step. Madison stood behind him crying, reaching out as if her touch could undo months of lies. Ethan, please, just tell me what I can do, she whispered, voice breaking. He paused at the doorway, not turning back. No anger, no pain, just the truth. He should have spoken long ago. Madison, he said quietly, I didn't lose you. You walked away before I ever let go. A breath, a final silence, then his last line, soft, devastating, unforgettable. Love doesn't die, it just stops waiting. Ethan settled into his new apartment, a small place with big windows, and quiet mornings, no tension. No secrets buzzing on a face-down phone, just silence. The good kind. He built a new routine, early runs, breakfast on the balcony, work without distraction. For the first time in months, he could breathe without feeling something tighten inside his chest. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the buildings, a warm orange light filled his living room. He stood there letting it wash over him, understanding something simple and honest. Some endings aren't losses. They're beginnings disguised as heartbreak.